welcome back. Another episode, or I don't know if it's an episode or not. A talking episode. So we this week we were chasing Storm Brandon, lighting up the Atlantic, rolling the dice and making a move and in search of some big barrels. Ended up in Mullaghmore in Ireland. Epic. It was a crazy day. Great to see loads of old faces and new, and all the boys are charging. Conor McGrath got a couple crazy ones. João got a couple crazy ones. Ono, and of course, I don't know if you've seen it already, but if you haven't, go and check out. We'll put a link here. Tom Lowe, go and check out his paddle wave. The best wave ever surfed at Mullaghmore. You know, hands down, it's just insane. And the guy's so hungry and frothing for it, and it's so impressive. So the plan was to film the whole vlog on my GoPro, action, talking, you know, the whole thing. Trouble was I lost my GoPro I was using at Mullaghmore halfway through the session. So that changed. So I put on my stories on my Instagram, I put out whether you wanted another Wipeout vlog. And the response was yes, which is why I'm doing this now. And it was actually the first time I towed Mullaghmore. That's actually the first time I actually pretty much ever drove a jet ski. I drove a jet ski once before. I was going to show you the video. So once before, and then went straight out for the session at Mullaghmore. And I'll just show you, hang on. So, how not to drive a jet ski 101. Ouch, it's a good barrel though. So, I'll talk you through. I think it was actually like 2005 or 6. I'd already done a few trips to Hawaii. I was getting into my big waves, like paddle surfing. A friend, Al from Northern Ireland, he had bought a jet ski, and he'd towed at Mullaghmore a couple of times before, and yeah, he was charging, and it was. Yeah, I was just super keen, and the thing is that, you know, how hard can it be? You know, it's just like riding a bike, or you know, so we went out, it was firing. Like I can't remember the exact date, but I think it was about 2005, 2006. It was firing, and the waves weren't scaring me or anything. It was just I was. You know, I'd seen a lot of big waves at that point, but I just had this new bit of machinery which I just completely wasn't used to or even had a clue about driving. We had the longest tow rope because, again, we didn't really know, you know, sort of making it up. We were in the west coast of Ireland. I think Gabe Davis and Richie Fitzgerald had towed Mullaghmore a few times before, and they had kit. Like, we'd never really, you know, there wasn't a lot of information about how you set up the ski, how long the tow rope should be. So yeah, we're kind of like making it up as we went along. And I remember the tow rope being really, I think it was a water skiing rope. Yeah, so it's probably like 70 feet. I think now tow ropes are, I don't know, 28 feet or something, I don't know, maybe 30 feet, I'm not sure. So like half length. Yeah, and it was frustrating and hard. It was way harder than I thought, like trying to drive the ski, getting Al into waves. Like, it was harder to position him than I imagined. And I think we'd been towing around for like half an hour, probably hadn't got him any waves. It's getting frustrating, and the set comes, and I'm lining him up, and then the next thing I know, like, I was just on the lump, like on the swell line. And next thing I know, like the wave just started like hitting the slab, and rather than be like, I wasn't down the wave and I wasn't like on top of it, I was like mid face, and I just didn't have, I panicked over the falls. Like it was yard sale, like just such a pounding. Like back then it was, obviously inflation vests and all that stuff didn't even exist. Like I think I had like one of those kayak vests on, like just not the safest. Like pounded, and we instantly just got split up. I got pounded to the inside. Al was stuck out at the back, separated. And this particular day it was howling offshore, like super strong offshore. And so I can remember like coming up and seeing the jet ski like upside down. I swam to the jet ski, rolled it over, sorted out that it was tangled in the 70 feet of tow rope that we were using, like sorted all the rope out, and then once started, and obviously, and amazingly, like none of the seats got ripped off, nothing. It was all like intact. But I went to start it, and obviously it didn't start. I don't know why. Battery, probably something really simple like the battery, but I didn't check the battery. So I'm now like on the inside of Mullaghmore. The jet ski is turned over up, the right way around, sort of the rope out, but it's not starting. I can actually, like, you can see, I could so close to land, like so close to the harbour. So I thought, oh, well, this is going to be simple. I just backstroke it in. So I got in the water, was like swimming, like, I can remember like swimming, like, like backstroking it. And I was backstroking for like 10, 20 minutes, like not even looking where I was going. And I turned around, and then like when I started backstroking, I was probably like 100 meters, 200 meters from the harbour wall. And then like 20 minutes later, I was probably half a mile, 3/4 of a mile into the bay. And like, that's when like I was like, oh man, like this isn't good, like this is, the wipeout was bad, the ski's not working is bad, but me drifting into the middle of Donegal Bay with a broken down jet ski is definitely not going well. And me and Ad all talked about this, about if the jet ski broke down, one of us would swim in or go in and paddle out two big guns, and we'd both paddle the ski back. And so I'm thinking, well, is Al going to come out and rescue me? But then I was thinking, well, I haven't seen him. Like, I don't even know where he is. Like he was just left swimming, behind the slab at Mullaghmore. So then I'm thinking, oh my God, like if anything happened to Al? But I thought, well, I just got to keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Don't let the jet ski go. It's new. It's not yours. And they're expensive. So I just kept swimming, and I swam, towing a ski. But I was just getting, like, every few minutes I'd turn around and I was just getting further and further away from Mullaghmore. And I got to that point where, like, I was like, okay, right, I'm not going to get back to Mullaghmore, yeah? Like, where's the nearest pot of land? And I could see, it must have been, I don't know, I could see sort of a bit of a headland, and I was thinking, well, I could kind of semi-go with the wind, but like diagonally, and I might make it to there. So then I was like sort of having that sort of deliberation of my mind, like in the sea, and it's like, it's freezing cold, and no one about, like, there was no one else surfing that day, but Ireland, that those many years ago, Ireland in the winter, there was like no one there. And so then I decided to start, okay, right, change of plan. I'll try and go with the wind, but diagonally, and try and get to shore that way. And as I start doing that, this helicopter comes, like circles around, and I'm like, oh no, like this is like your worst nightmare. Like I definitely don't want to get rescued by the helicopter. Like it would just be a disaster. And that, you know, so helicopter circles a little bit, goes off, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness for that. And I'm back again. I'm like, you know, backstroking, just thinking, please, you know, like I've got to get to shore. And then the helicopter comes back, and then he stops, and hovers above the ski, and I'm in the water thinking, oh my God, like this is a nightmare. And this guy winches down, he winches, and he actually sits on the ski, and he's like, all right, mate, yeah, what are you up to? And I just was like, oh, you know, the jet ski's broken down, I'm just gonna try and, you know, swim it back. He's like, oh, right, okay. He's like, well, do you want a lift? And I was like, well, can you take the jet ski? And he's like, no, unfortunately we can't take the jet ski, and we've radioed the lifeboat, and we've also looked for like if there's any ships in the local like area, and neither can come. There's a high seas advisory, and there's nothing else in the sea, or none of the ships close by, so you know you've got to leave the jet ski here. And I was just like, oh, it's all right then, it's fine, I'll just carry on swimming. And he went, all right, mate. And he winched back up and left. And then he left. And I was just like, shit. Like, I started swimming again. And then, you know, it just become apparent, like after another like 10 minutes of swimming, like I was just like, now I was like, I wasn't getting closer to where Mullaghmore couldn't even see Mullaghmore anymore. Like, and the point that I decided to swim, to paddle to, was getting also further away. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? You know, like that's it, you know. And as I was sort of thinking that, like the helicopter comes back, and the guy comes down again, and he's like, how's the paddling going? And I was just, you know, it's not going great. He goes, well, we've been tracking your progress, and he's like, you know, this is it. Like, if you don't come with me, if you don't get on the helicopter now, we'll leave the ski here. Like, you're going to be in America. Like, and then yeah, that was it. So I got rescued by the helicopter, and I can remember like getting winched up, getting in the helicopter, and like looking down and just seeing the ski like floating in the middle of the sea, and we sort of like went off, and as we flew away, we went across Mullaghmore, and I could see Al just at the harbour with two big guns by the harbour, ready to sort of paddle after me. And then we went across sort of like Donegal Bay, and I remember seeing like all the reefs firing, and just absolutely devastated, losing the ski. And so yeah, that was my first toast surfing experience, 2005, 2006. No, never obviously went to plan, but yeah, it was kind of tough really, because absolutely, it was just as when like online forums were starting, and surf forums, and obviously it made the news. It was like, you know, surfers get rescued at Mullaghmore with jet ski, and I got absolutely slammed, like, you know, like kooks, knowing he doesn't know what he's doing. And yeah, to be honest, that they had a point. They're like, I didn't know what we were doing, but we knew what we wanted to do, but we didn't know what to do. Anyway, so yeah, it was a pretty bad week. But it kind of like it motivated us even more. And I can remember like like being semi sort of like, oh, like, fuck, I'm over it, you know, like I don't want to, like that's it, like that's my big wave surfing career over, or tow surfing career over anyway. I like to keep paddling, it's easier, you know, and Al was very sort of like determined. I was like, nah, we'll get another ski, and you know, and we'll keep at it. And it's funny, you know, like, because it would have been really, really easy to give up at that point, and I almost did, and then probably if it wasn't for Al, I would have done. You know, and then like I almost had that fear of like I didn't really want to get back driving a jet ski again, and it was really tough and really, you know, like to go through that. And the weird thing is that, you know, like fast forward probably 5 years, 4 years, whatever, you know, then I'm down at Nazare, and then like a year later, you know, I was towing Garrett into the biggest wave ever surfed, you know, his world record wave, and that's the weird thing, you know, like those, how strange that is, you know, like going from possibly the worst jet ski driver ever, and like complete shambles of how to tow anyone in, never clueless, to, you know, like 6 years later towing Garrett McNamara into the biggest wave ever. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah, so there you go. That's my jet ski wipeout story, Mullaghmore. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully next time we'll have some actual surfing footage to show you. But yeah, see you soon.